What is going on, you beautiful people? It's your boy Where's Fluffy, bringing you another Dauntless build video. Now, slight disclaimer, I just want to go ahead and say, this build is kind of stupid. I thought it'd be fun to put together. I wouldn't call it like a legit meta build. It's definitely not a meta build, let's put it like that. And it's definitely something I probably wouldn't run too often unless you decide you yourself like it. And decide you want to run it maybe. You know, who knows? This is just something I put together for fun because there's a lot of perks in Dauntless that don't really get a lot of views. So I wanted to go ahead and see how much I can get done with them. So the build we're basically using today is just a shield build. I wanted to call it the shield hero build, but I didn't want to get copyright striked, or if I could, you know, I just wanted to avoid that territory. So I don't know if I'll have an official name for this build. Let's just call it the shield build for now. This build pretty much can work with any weapon. You just need certain components. You can pretty much get the parts for this build early if you're farming your hunt pass and you're not out here spending your Lady Luck bucks or whatever they're called frivolously. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show you a couple clips of how it's supposed to work and what's gonna be going on. And if you don't want to see it, you can pretty much just go ahead and skip. The time for the skip will be in the description below if you just want to hear me talk about the build or what it consists of. Happening, people, we got torn shield too. So we about to see how big of a shield we can get. We finna stack on stack on stack. $380, goddamn, baby. Oop. I could have rolled that, but you know, it's fine. Hey, another fact, that was like over 1,000 that time, but I think we lost the turn shield buff. This is actually insane. Like, that is a really fat shield. I definitely don't feel like I do as much damage, like clearly, because I'm not taking, you know, as many damage buffs, but that is a fat shield. Alright, pretty much 1,600 off of that one, and I could probably get it to, that would definitely be like 1,900, close to 2,000 if I use turn shield right there. Okay, now we got turn shield, and we got two behemoths, and one of them is Boreas, which is trash. I hate having Boreas. Like I said, I don't think you can stack your shield buff from your prism if Boreas is that's fine. Ooh, we're close. We're getting close. We're getting close. And I feel like he's gonna, yep, he died right then and there, and we're gonna lose a smooth 300. So even if 1,900. I gotta play like this next one pretty much perfectly if we want to have any hope of hitting over 2,000 shield. Like, it's not bad. This both of them have the potential to be super annoying. Scar's not too bad if it's by itself. It's honestly just mostly Rift Doctor. Alright, there's one down. Alright, we got a chance. 1,800. 2,000, baby! Let's go! And we can still get plenty more. Let's keep it going. Let's see how high we can get. If we get to 2,500, I will be satisfied with 2,500. If I would have got hit, I would have been so sad. I would have been so sad. Roll 3 attack, 2,600, baby. Let's go. Oh my god, can we get 3,000? 3,000! Full win! For the money! Let's go! That is nasty. That is stupid. That is ridiculously stupid. That is an insane amount of shield. That's pretty much like 3 times my health currently with this. Ooh, I honestly probably could have got more if I was just, you know, better than a above average Dauntless player. I only consider myself above average, so I do a lot of stupid things. I play like, you know, I could do a lot more. Let's just put it like that. But hey, 3K. What more can you ask for? Okay, so welcome back. Mid-edit, I realized there was some info I left in my previous audio recording that I didn't mention that I'm gonna do now. So that's why if you see like my character pretty much doesn't look the same as you'll see later on, is because I realized some stuff mid-editing and had to go back and pretty much fix this and give you the correct information, all the information you need to be successful with the build. One of those small details that you'll end up realizing is that, like, obviously Torrent Shield doesn't stack, so you can't get 300 on top of 300, and Strategist itself doesn't stack either. So what I mean is Torrent Shield and the shield you get from Strategist, you can only stack those once, and after a certain time frame they drop off. The only shield that can actually refresh is from the prism or the scarring weapon itself, which is why it's important, because that's where you get your bulk of the shield from. And Fortress is always going to return after not getting hit, so as long as you're not taking too much damage, you'll always have 100 health shield. Now, from what I've noticed or what I've seen, I'm assuming this is how it works, I'm not 100% sure, but from what I've seen, when I ran through the clips and I look back at everything, I would never lose my Torrent Shield first, or my Strategist shield first. And I assume the reasoning behind this is because the shield you get from your scarring weapon, that leaves first. I think this is because I always lose like a solid 300, like no more, no less, when Torrent Shield runs out after that 15 or 12 seconds or whatever it is. You can see 300 leave, meaning it's not taken from the Torrent Shield portion first, so I can only assume it's coming from the scarring weapon portion. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, to pretty much get down to everything else, after I explained that and got out the way and why I took those perks, pretty much this is the build itself right here. So Sight of Stone, because it gives you a toughness perk, plus it gives you a defensive cell, which is what we want. If you throw the Fortress cell into a defensive cell, Nash's Cloak gives you a toughness perk and another defensive cell. Strategist cell into there, boom. Arms of Ice, you can put another Strategist cell in there, plus it gives you Knockout King. And last but not least, Hellplate Greaves, because they give you the Fortress and you get a power cell. You can pretty much supplement the power cell out for just about whatever you want. I only put Knockout King in there because the +6 Knockout King, you don't really have to do it. It doesn't really matter too much of what you put in there because it's a shield build at the end of the day, so you can supplement it for anything. Doesn't matter too much. And remains Rapture because we want a little bit more attack speed because we're not generating any attack speed from anywhere else. This also helps with Berserker that I'll talk more about later. And I just threw a Conduit cell in here, honestly, because I think Conduit is too good not to have. That's just my personal opinion. So the more attack speed, the better. Now, I used Ostean Repeaters. Again, you can use any weapon with this build you want, but you just might have to supplement something out, which is what I'll talk about later. And that's when you'll see like my character fit pretty much changes, and that's because I recorded an earlier video. Now, for the repeaters, I threw a Berserker cell in here to sort of counterbalance the damage you're going to lack by running as a build. And when it comes to the mobility cell, honestly, I took an agility cell just to reduce the stamina of my dodging. You can pretty much supplement this out for whatever you want. It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't really matter pertaining to the build. This is just, you have to take it because it's part of the Ostean Repeater, so you can pretty much take whatever you want. As for the barrel, it doesn't matter. It's just basically damage. You could take your strongest barrel, I would say, and you'll be fine. I personally like full bore chamber, but it's not that big of a deal. I would say take the captain's grip because, like I said, the more attack speed you get, the better. The mods really doesn't matter. I prefer Tactician's Magazine because it's too good not to take, in my opinion. Now, the most important part is the Prism, the Stoneheart Prism, which is a scarring weapon, so you pretty much get the shield stacking weapons or Prism from farming scarring. And as you can see, its passive or whatever is basically just dealing damage, has a chance based on damage dealt to grant a stacking refreshing 40 shield that lasts for 12 seconds. So you always have a 12-second time frame to pretty much restack that shield. Obviously you want to use your strongest weapon, which is why I said I use this one instead, because it's my strongest weapon. So obviously if I'm doing more damage, I have a better chance of stacking that shield. The amount of shield you get pretty much goes up based on how high level your weapon is. So it kind of goes hand in hand. You want to have like a high level weapon in order to proc your shield more and to get more shield. So where's all these shields coming from? +6 fortress. After not taking damage for 10 seconds, you start with 100 shield. Pretty much gonna have that up at the start of any hunt, so it's just there. As long as you don't get hit, you're not missing out on too much. +6 strategist. You lose a little bit of health, but with the amount of shield you're getting back, it really doesn't matter. So after you dodge, you not only grant 150 health shield to yourself, but to everybody on your team, which is why strategist is kind of cool. It's pretty lit. And then obviously the prism or the weapon itself is where you get the remaining, is again where you get the bulk of your shield from. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the supplements for different weapons now, and then that'll be the end of the video. Okay, so I made some more mid-edit changes. It really doesn't matter. So for Scarring Smashers, here how you pretty much want to supplement it. Berserker cell inside the weapon, bam. For the defensive cell itself, I recommend when you supplement this, you can take it either Assassin's Vigor or Vigor, however you pronounce it, don't really care. Or you can take 9 lives. You can get both of these as a +6 either or, and it really doesn't matter. Everything else is pretty much the same except the gauntlets. You take out the original gauntlets, which is Arms of Ice, put in Might of Stone, you get Fortress here, and then you add in either the 9 lives or the Assassin's Vigor again. Everything else is pretty much the same. So for the War Pike, you can either run it like this, or you can run it the original. So for the War Pike, you can either run it like the original build I had, which is when I had Arms of Ice, or like the 8th of Strikers build, or which I had Might of Stone. I prefer it this way because I get a +6 knockout king, since I'm probably going to be attacking the face a lot and building up that stagger. So this is the only reason I ran it like this. So you keep everything pretty much the same. Inside the weapon is Berserker, and you can either take a 9 lives or Assassin's Vigor. Bam. For the chain blades, it's pretty much the same thing, not that big of a deal. Berserker cell, 9 lives, or assassins. Next. Now for the hammer and the axe, they pretty much run the same cells, a power cell and the defensive cell. So you have to run it like this. You basically take the Might of Stone instead, and then you can either 9 lives or Assassin's Vigor. It's pretty much the same thing. And I put an overpower cell in here just because I kind of like overpower, and you can really pretty much run what you want to run in this power cell. It's pretty much up to you. But axe, hammer, same thing, same build. Go on about your business. The sword basically runs the same as the axe and the hammer. I forgot to mention that. So the build is basically going to be the same. But that's about it. I do hope you beautiful people enjoy this video session and this build as much as I enjoyed making it. And I'll try and come up with something else, like a new recipe or a new build that literally doesn't make any sense, or have any basis for why you would want to do it, but you do it anyway because that's just the type of person I am. But hope you beautiful people enjoy the rest of whatever it is you're doing, and until the next video, peace.